through the process of building a 3D world, and I realise you haven't got the software up and running yet to be able to do this yourselves, but I hope this will just whet your appetite and show you the sort of thing that's possible and just how quickly something like this can be achieved. If you do join us for our online lessons, then you'll have all of the software up and running in no time, and you'll actually receive a much more detailed version of this as a lesson to be able to follow all of the steps yourself at home. So here we go. Now I'll start by creating a terrain. Now by default this terrain is quite large, and we'd probably want to scale it down if we were going to make a single island. Let's make them all slightly different. Okay, now I'll just grab a different brush and raise up the height. And we'll just smooth it out, maybe around the coastlines at least. We don't really want our beaches to be quite that rocky looking, so I'll just smooth out around our coastline. Okay, now we'll start popping down some textures now. Now the very first texture that we add will go over the entire terrain, so we'll start off with a sand texture. I don't want to get rid of all my grass here. I really just want this to be quite soft on some of the high points. Not too bad. Okay, maybe just one last texture for the tops of some of those really high areas. Let's get this cliff texture, and I'll just bring my brush size down further. Might not look much of a change from right back here, but sometimes even these subtle changes can look good once you're actually walking around on the island. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now let's bring some water in. We'll start putting this together. Water, get some daylight water. Okay, and as you can see, it is actually in the game, but it's very, very small, and that's fine. That's the way it's meant to be. We now just need to scale it up to size. So we'll go 5,000 on the x-axis, 5,000 on the z-axis, and that should give us a huge section of water there. And we'll just make sure our island is nicely in the middle. I'll just move that a little. There we go. I'll just go into render settings, and here it is. Low-hanging dream, there we go. Okay, we have our sky. Now the next thing would be to add some trees, so we'll just jump into our tree tool, and seeing these are islands, we might grab some palm trees. There we go, and we'll put a bend factor of 1 so that they blow in the wind. Now you can actually set this up to plant masses of trees at once, and we can just paint them on like that, but I find that it never quite looks very natural. I like to place them individually, so I'll pull my brush size and opacity right down. Now we do want a large variation in colour so they don't all look the same. We do want a variation in height and in width, and now we'll just go around and paint some of these on. And I'll just position these around the low parts of the island. And I don't mind if I clump some up and spread some out. It looks a little more natural when there are some patches of trees clumped up a little more. Okay, in fact I think I'll just go top down for this process to speed it up a little. Okay, that should be looking good. Okay, now we'll just pop in here and we'll add some other goodies. We'll add some grass. Now this grass, if we were to paint this on here, it feels like you can't see it, but if you zoom in, it is actually there. But you just can't see it from a distance, so that's fine. You can see some of our grass there. So if we paint some just there, it feels like we can't see it. But if we get in close, there we go. Now we could add quite a few other trees and bushes and shrubs and ferns and all sorts of things, but I think we might just get in there and have a walk around on the island. Okay, and let's see how we go. As you can see, all the grass and trees and these little shrubs are blowing in the wind. And here we go, we can see our other island off in the distance. Now this project we actually call our 10-minute island, and we teach our students to put one of these together in 10 minutes. Look, I wasn't timing that to see how long it actually took me to put that together, but it was probably around 10 minutes. And the reason we like to get it to the sort of thing where you can do it really quickly is that most of the games we work on do have a 3D world involved. It might be a driving game, and we don't want to spend 2 months building the world. Really, we want to just put the world together nice and quickly and then spend all of the time on the track and on the car and getting the physics of the car working really well. This part of it shouldn't really take that long. Gosh, there might be projects where you do want to spend a lot of time on the terrain. I mean, this could be a big 3D world, sort of online multiplayer thing where people can all come in online and chat and as they're walking around, in which case you might want to spend quite a bit of time getting the scenery looking wonderful. But for a driving game and even for a shooting game, you know, you really want to spend most of your time working on the characters. It's great to be able to put this sort of thing together really quickly.